Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to walk you through how to get 5 to 7 calls booked every single day using trained appointment setters. My name is Adam and I own apexsetting.com. We basically are the apex level when it comes to appointment setting. We source appointment setters, we interview thousands of them, we train them up, and then we install them into businesses so that they can scale their coaching business or their agency using setters, and we train them regularly and we manage them. So we're basically the A team when it comes to hiring, training, managing setters. This is going to be a practical guide, and I'm going to walk you through important information if you want to scale to doing 5 to 7 calls booked a day. So is it going to let me click? Okay, so number one, setters don't generate revenue, they generate conversations. So most owners judge setters based on revenue. Elite operators judge them on conversations started, meaningful replies, qualified prospects, and show up rates. The sales team generates revenue, but the setters generate opportunities. Confusing the two leads to a bad hiring decisions and misaligned expectations. So conversation started is the volume of genuine outreach that opens the door to real dialogue. We want to have real, genuine conversations with people. We want meaningful replies, so not just responses. We want engaged conversations that move the business forward, the conversation moves forward. Qualified prospects. We want leads who actually fit your ideal client profile and not just ready to talk. There are many leads out there who are just going to talk, but we don't want that. We want people who are actually ready to buy. And show up rate. So the percentage of booked calls that actually attend. This is how, these are the four kind of pillars of making sure we have a good setter. And these kind of are the rules that we follow to make sure a setter is doing the right thing. So making sure we have conversations getting started every single day, meaningful replies coming in, actual qualified prospects, and then a good show up rate. Okay, next. Lesson 2. The best setter is usually not the best salesperson. Why this mistake happens. Many agency owners hire closers as setters, assuming their sales ability translates directly. It rarely does. The skill sets are fundamentally different. One is about closing deals, the other is about building pipeline discipline. What makes a great setter? So consistent, show up every single day, regardless of motivation levels. Process driven, so follows the systems without cutting corners and making up their own rules. Relentless with follow-up, doesn't give up after the first message. They always follow up with the client. Comfortable with repetition, executes the same high quality outreach daily. So a salesperson, people often take a salesperson and think, oh, they're going to be a good setter because they're good at sales. That's not the case. You need to make sure you have someone who is a salesperson and a separate person who is a setter, because they're two completely different talents and skills. Lesson 3 is pre-trained setters save months of lost revenue. So most businesses underestimate onboarding cost. An untrained setter requires daily support, script building, objection training, and quality control, all while they're getting minimal results. A pre-trained setter, someone who you've trained, can often become productive in days rather than months. So as you can see here, we have a little diagram. So week 1 to week 2, untrained setter, script building, daily hand holding, zero output. Week 3 to 4, basic objection handling, introduced, can't speak, still requires heavy oversight. Month 2, quality control, output begins to stabilize. But with pre-trained setter, days 1 to 7, productivity starts from day 1, and speed to competence is a scaling advantage. Okay, so key insight: speed to competence is not a luxury, it's a scaling advantage. Every week a setter is unproductive, revenue is left on the table. Okay, next, lesson 4. Most appointment setters are not actually setters, they're virtual assistants. So when you go online, you're going to get a lot of people who are claiming to be setters, they're not setters. The market often confuses these roles. The difference in output is enormous, and understanding it will save you from costly hiring mistakes. So what a VA can do: send messages, manage inbox, update spreadsheet, CRM, blah, 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 Follow basic admin instructions. What a setter can do is handle objections in real time, qualify leads against your criteria, and drive conversations forward to create urgency for the person to book a call. Lesson 5 is weekly training is more important than initial training. So most teams train once. Elite teams train forever. Training is not an event. It's an operating system. Every week should include structured improvement across all key areas of the setter performance. Call reviews. Listen to recordings together. This is if there's a call involved. Identify what's working and what's not in the real conversation. So I'm talking about if this is on the phone, right? For appointment setting. Conversation audits. So review messages, message threads. Spot patterns where conversations stall or fail or succeed. Know what works, what doesn't work. Objection handling. Drill responses to the most common objections until they become natural and confident. Role plays. Simulate real scenarios with the setter. Remember, practice makes perfect and perfect makes bookings. So you want to help them play like a role play with them. Script improvement. So iterate on the messaging based on live data. Script should evolve every single week if necessary. Lesson 6. Setters should be managed by KPIs, not effort. A setter can be busy all day and produce nothing. KPIs expose reality. They remove the illusion of productivity and focus the team on outcomes that actually matter. Just because someone's working hard or at the desk all day doesn't mean they're doing anything, okay? You need to keep an eye on the KPIs. For example, you want to see, is there 50 plus new conversations started? The response rate is 20%. Calls booked is this many. Qualification rate, blah, 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 right? Never manage activity. Managing effort rewards busyness. Managing KPIs rewards results. So the distinction is everything. We want to make sure we're managing the KPIs, okay? Click. Okay, so lesson 7 and 8. Follow up creates more revenue. Quality beats headcount. So the fortune is in the follow up. I've said this a million times before. Many people have said it. It's true. Most opportunities are lost after the first conversation. Elite setters understand that revenue lives in the follow-up sequence. Where are we? Day 1 and then day 2 is the follow-up, obviously. Immediate follow-up while interest is warm. You have day 2. Then day 7, value-based re-engagement message. Day 14, break up or requalification in touch. And number 2, ongoing re-engagement campaigns for cold leads, okay? This is just a light point. You can change how your follow-up sequence is. This is just an example. But you need to make sure you have a follow-up sequence in place. Lesson 8. One great setter beats 3 average ones. Scaling headcount before improving quality creates a management problems, not revenue. Before hiring more setters, optimize what you already have. Improve scripts, improve training, improve lead quality, improve management. Better messaging equals better conversations. Weekly drills compound over time. Better inputs produce better outputs. KPIs and accountability drive performance. So before you try and hire many people, you want to try and, or absolutely by all means, get the most you can out of one person. Many people I've seen make the mistake of hiring too many, and I'm saying, as a professional in this industry, hire one person, get them to max out their efficiency, then hire the next. Otherwise, you just create issues. Lesson 9. The real job of a setter is building trust. Okay? People don't book because they received a message. People book because they trust the person they're talking to. But the booking is a byproduct of trust. And elite setters know how to build trust. Ask better questions. Elite setters lead with curiosity, not pitches. We don't want to pitch. The right questions unlocks the prospect's real pain point and opens the door to a genuine conversation. It creates a rapport quickly, or they create rapport quickly. Building connection in the first few messages sets the tone. Prospects who feel understood are far more likely to book a call. So if you're just saying, hey, just saw your comment, blah, 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 some bull crap, they're going to know this is AI or some automated message or some ManyChat. But if you send a real, genuine message, they're going to know this is a person who's messaging me. And that changes the dynamic completely, because people know when they're being messaged by an AI. People are not stupid anymore. They know AI messages and automated messages. But when you send a genuine message, it works 100%. Position the solution, not 100%, but you get the point, 99%. Position the solution correctly. Once pain is understood, the offer becomes the obvious answer. So you should let people talk. Setters who position correctly make the booking feel like the prospect's idea. So you don't just want to tell them, hey, let's book a call. Many coaches make the stupid mistake of they have someone DM them and they say, hey, if you want to learn more, book a call on the first message. This is a way to scare people away. Yeah, granted, it might work sometimes, right? But you're just going to end up losing more people in the long run than you do gain in the short run. You're going to lose people in the long term than you're going to gain in the short term by doing that shit. So the real way to do it is to have a genuine, nice, real, one-to-one conversation with the person, right? Make them feel like you're a real person. Use some emojis, use some slang, be informal, be casual. Depending on your niche, of course, you don't want to be too, overdo it. That's for you to decide. But don't be a bot. Be real. Be trustworthy. Be a human. And lesson 10. The final takeaway: setters become multipliers for founder time. Most founders become bottlenecks. Every conversation requires their attention. Every lead requires their input. A trained setter team, I should say, creates leverage and breaks the bottleneck permanently. So without setters, founder to lead sales call, founder's the bottleneck. With setter, qualified lead sales call, founder focuses on closing. At scale, the setter team works on the pipeline, increases the revenue, business scales without founder being overwhelmed in any way at all. Most agencies don't have a lead generation problem. They have a setter infrastructure problem. Okay. The businesses that scale fastest aren't necessarily better at sales. They're better at creating predictable conversations with qualified prospects every single day. That's the role of an elite appointment setting team. And if you want to know our business, this is Apex Setting, my website. These are some of the clients here, health coaches, business coaches, all types of coaches. We basically build a system that allows you to scale your business with appointment setters. And so we source the setters. We interview and talk with thousands of setters, basically hundreds a month. And we take from that the best. And then when you need a setter, we take that setter, we train them up to your criteria, and then we manage them inside of your business. We give them safe access, okay? And then we manage them and train them every single week. So the hiring, the sourcing, the management, the weekly training, everything's covered by us so that you can scale. So if you want help doing that, and if you like this little educational thing I did, then leave a like. Talk to you soon. Take care.